Is the ad over? Oh, yep, ad's over. Hey guys, it's me, your boy Ryan Swag, here for the show Swag Tips. And today we are talking about Entei, right? Can see it. Yeah, so I'm very new to this streaming. I've only done this once before, and one thing that really throws me off is the whole 8-second delay deal. I don't like it. And then there's like an ad that plays in the beginning, so it's like, is this ad just for me, or is it for you guys, or are they seeing me right now, or and then the ad stops for me, and then I'm there, but it's like me 8 seconds in the past, and I don't know, I don't like it. So I gotta get used to that, and I gotta figure out what's going on with that so I can start a little bit more smoothly, right? So, oh man, the decay factor is here. Nice. So, Ryan Swag, right? We're gonna be talking about Entei today, and if I get enough time at the end, I might give you some swag tips on Mewtwo, since it's revealed that Mewtwo is part of the EX raids. There's only like, what, a couple in existence right now. They're still testing it. So today, focus is on Entei, and then next week, we'll see what's going on with the X raids, because I want to get Suicune out of the way, because, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, it's a set, it makes sense to do them all. But Mewtwo, right? I gotta focus on that hype. I gotta give the content people want. I don't know. I think people in like the Pacific region, East Asia, stuff like that. None they have their own like iteration of me, like telling them about Suicune. I hope so, but we'll see. We'll see. Starting out though, I want to clarify something about last week's stream and video. I posted it on my Twitter, and I posted it on Facebook, and I posted it in oh yeah, on the video itself. I goofed on the ho-ho graphics. Ho-ho graphics on Raikou. Yeah, it turns out that I was using a level 30 Raikou for those simulations. So performing a lot worse than what I expected, and I was like trying to work with that, and I found out why it was wrong when I was prepping for that GamePress article. If you haven't checked it out, go to Pokemon Go GamePress, and there's an article on legendary beasts. It's pretty good information, and I'm telling you about Entei today, right? But yeah, no, Raikou is still pretty good, and people are like, oh, but Zapdos is worthless now, right? Now Zapdos is still pretty good. If Ho-Oh still has Solar Beam when the Game Master, if the Game Master is the same when Ho-Oh drops, then Zapdos is going to be your best option for Solar Beam, Ho-Oh, right? And then the other Ho-Oh iterations, you got Golem. You don't need no Raikou for that. Just want to get that out of the way. Entei. Alright, I'm going to start out with the Entei meme, right? Good foray into this. The best counter for Entei. Vaporeon. Suicune. LOL, you mean baby Vaporeon? Try using a real legendary. Alright, that's right here. That's Vaporeon. Most broken Pokemon is the obvious choice to beat this beast. You can use Aqua Tail, you can use Water Pump, Water Pulse, a little bit too slow, and I'm gonna go into that later in the video, teach you why it's too slow. Golem, also good, and as everybody on the on r/Pokemon Go wants to point out, Golem is arguably better than Vaporeon. They're pretty similar in performance. Gonna go over that as well. So give it a rest. If you want to use Golem, use Golem. Vaporeon's also a very good option, right? And then Omastar is also crazy good if you have Rock Throw, which is a legacy move. So nobody has it. But yeah, at the bottom here though, zooming in. What's this secret message here? What's the secret message? Entei is really easy. What? Alright, now let's get to a more substantive infographic here. Remember this guy? I updated it ever so slightly. The other viable options, oh, I can't move it. Come on. Unlock. There we go. The other viable options section is still out of date, but I figured if I'm talking about Entei, I'd have to update the Entei part. So the only update is these three are still supreme, still the best options. And then you got Dragonite here, and he's also a very good option. I swapped him out for Tyranitar, because Tyranitar is not nearly as good as Dragonite is, right? So yeah, bum bum. This part, other viable options, still got to update, and I have not published it yet. You're first seeing it here. Ooh, the process, right? I just copy and pasted this and moved it over here in Paint. High tech. All right, Entei counters, right? So these are a graphical comparison of what's good against Entei. We got the x-axis down here, and that's the an estimation of the total damage output. So the more to the right you are, the more damage your Pokemon will deal before fainting. And with the last video, if you're new here, yeah, it's like a weird decimal because it's an estimation. I don't have a prettier way to display that yet. Solandro, the guy who does Pokebattler, gave me some swag tips on how to represent TDO a bit better for future graphs, but I'm a busy bird, so I did not update it that, but it tells like the same story, basically. It's just different numbers, slightly more accurate. And then we got the y-axis, which is damage per second, and as you will notice, and a lot of people on what is it, the Sylph Road like to point out, I don't start at 0, 0 when I do these, because if I did, there'd be like, just like, imagine this, but like half of it is just white. You know what I mean? Now, I know that it like suggests that like one Pokemon is twice as good as the other one, even though it's not, and stuff like that. But if you check the axis, you know, the points, and you see what the numbers are, in the future, I will include 0, 0 graphs for people that are curious, but not today, right? I like to include Snorlax in here as sort of like a representation of poor DPS. You know, like bad DPS isn't 0, 0 is no DPS. Bad DPS is like 11, you know? So then you see like, oh, the disparity between like 11 and the best guy who's like above 17, you know, it's like 6 DPS. That's pretty significant, right? So I don't know. I think that's a little bit more useful than starting at 0, but that's just me. I need to not slurp when I drink when I do this. Alright, so yeah, looking at the counters, we got Omastar at the tippy top here, best TDO, best DPS, rock throw, right? Just to kick you in the face, right? Oh yeah, that, you know, people have been sending me screenshots of their rock throw Omastars, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, they know I don't have one. You know, but if Omastar doesn't have rock throw, oh, how he falls. See this point right here? And yes, I still haven't figured out how to do the cursor thing, so my face is a cursor. So yeah, you got Omastar here with water gun and hydro pump. So, oh man, the disparity. That's like a whole DPS right there. Oh man, one whole DPS. Yeah, so it's pretty significant in my opinion, because then Vaporeon and Golem and Dragonite's kind of superimposed right here. You know, they're much better, and Vaporeon's way easier to get than an Omastar, in my opinion. Than 25 candy, roll the dice, you know, okay, maybe like 75 on average. But yeah, I don't know anyone that doesn't have like a horde of Vaporeons. And then Rock Throw Stone Edge Golem, you know, is right there too, being really good. And, you know, if you're prepared for Moltres, if you're prepared for Zapdos, you should have some of those too. So, some fairly good, reasonable, frequent counters that, you know, everybody should have. Crack down on this dog, cat, beast thing. You know, didn't get the final word on that. I think the final word is that it's both. It's a dog, cat, it barks, it's based on a lion. Let's not worry about it here. Right, so these are the Supremo counters right here. And you see Dragonites there. And you're like, wait, Ryan Swag, I thought you said that Dragonite was only a good counter and not as good as Vaporeon and Golem. But there he is hanging out with the big boys, you know. And yeah, the thing is that these are simulations that were run at level 39, right? Against Fire Spin and Overheat. And I noticed that at different levels and against different movesets, Dragonite's performance isn't as consistent as Golem or Vaporeon or Omastars. He kind of fluctuates. I say he, they. I don't know. Do pronouns matter for dragons? Don't think so. But yeah, so Dragonite's good, and I mean by all means, if you want to use Dragonite. It's a good option, but like not as consistent with its performance as Golem and Vaporeon and that demigod Omastar with Rock Throw up there. But yeah, so these are the four boys I promote most. And then we go a bit more down here. Oh man, the good guys, the good counters, right? You got Tyranitar. Why wouldn't Tyranitar be on here? Yeah, everybody loves Tyranitar. With Stone Edge, of course. Resists them, hits them super effective. If Tyranitar had a quick move, that was a rock move, he'd probably be a bit higher, but he doesn't. So Tyranitar is just a shy away from the big boys there. You got Rhydon with Stone Edge, and did I include Rhydon with Earthquake? I did. Rhydon with Stone Edge here, Rhydon with Earthquake there. A lot of Entei's counters are very similar in performance. They all just laid on the smackdown. And if you look at other graphs, usually like the highest DPS is like around 14, 15. These guys are like the not supreme options, and they're at like 15. You know what I mean? So everybody's wailing on Entei pretty hard, and Entei's just got put up with it, you know? But yeah, Stone Edge Rhydon, really good. Earthquake Rhydon, not so bad either. So if you don't have a horde of Vaporeons, you don't got a bunch of Dragonites, you don't got Rock Throw Stone Edge Golems, but you do have those Mud Slap Earthquake Rhydons that helped you out against Raikou, assuming that you're in America. It's forgot. I've got viewers from across the seas. But yeah, no, if you got those and you're prepared for Raikou, if you're not already fighting Raikou, there we go, smooth guy. Yeah, then those Rhydons will also help you out. Oh, what's that? Ooh, Kingdra? Slightly better. Oh, I know some Kingdra fans out there that really want Kingdra to be really good, and because Pokemon Go is unforgiving, it's not as good. You know, he's got the double resist. He does super effective stab damage. Why is he worse than Vaporeon? Because Vaporeon's broke. And that's just how the cards were dealt in this game. Feraligatr is also in there. Pretty good Pokemon. Now, a lot of people, like, you know, compare Feraligatr to Vaporeon. And they're like, well, why isn't Feraligatr equal to Vaporeon? They've got, like, very similar movesets and stuff like that. Well, Feraligatr's not as bulky, and not being bulky affects your DPS in raids significantly, and yeah, it doesn't last as long, so not as much TDO. I don't know, 125 candy, you do the math. Vaporeon, right? Emphasis, Vaporeon. Reasons why I emphasize Vaporeon, right? Ooh, look at that. Their TDOs are like the same, but Golem's got higher DPS. Why did he put Vaporeon in that meme? Because I chose to. Now, down here in the trudges, right, you got Mud Slap Earthquake Golem. Now, actually, I think that's actually Mud Shot, which is slightly better than Mud Slap. They're very similar, though. So, pick it as you want. Not so hot. And ooh, who's that? Suicune. It's like Vaporeon's, like, pre-evolved form or something, right? Yeah, just throwing Suicune on the graph. That's with Hidden Power Water, which is your best case scenario against Entei, and it's, yeah, as you can tell, DPS not nearly as there as these boys and gals and genderless Pokemon. Are any of these genderless? I think they all can have gender. Suicune doesn't have gender. But yeah, no, Suicune doesn't perform nearly as well. Yeah, and imagine you get a Suicune with extra sensory. That's going to be even worse. I should have probably put it on this graph just to show how bad it is. Or like a hidden power that's not super effective against Entei. So, it's letting people, you know, if you're online, if you're on the Sylph Road, if you've read things, you've already gotten the good word that Suicune's pretty bad. If you read the GamePress article, you know Suicune's pretty bad. So, I don't know, I got hope for the future for Suicune. I digress. Then, who's this? Mewtwo. Yeah, I wanted to include Mewtwo in the graph as well. Sort of to give like an example of like, you know, powerful neutral DPS, pure neutral. Dragonicus that resisting. But yeah, so you know, just kind of like demystifying Mewtwo a little bit for people that are like, oh dang, where's my EX Mewtwo? I'm not from Japan. You know, it's like, yeah, Mewtwo's great, but you know, if you're going up against Entei, you know what I mean, a direct counter is gonna be much better than a neutral DPS option that doesn't get any resistances in. And then over here I got the Boo Crew, got Gengar, Alakazam, Machamp, which are supposed to be like glass cannon like Pokemon typically, but as you can tell in this situation, their TDO, how much damage they're going to deal before they faint, very, very low. 2 glass to rate in my opinion. And their DPS is decent, but these guys are better. And they're easier to obtain for the most part, so, you know, Vaporeon. And then down here we got Snorlax, and just, you know, to reference poor DPS, and to just kind of point out that even though, yeah, Mewtwo is tanky as Snorlax, feels bad, man. Basically, right? I mean, I don't think it's a concern. Entei, I think Entei has been trioed by combinations of Vaporeon and Golem, or just like straight up one or the other, or both. I mean, their performance is nearly exactly the same, you know. So yeah, Entei's kind of a baby fire doggo. So we know how to counter Entei, and it looks like it's pretty easy to counter Entei. But why do we want Entei? I don't know.